Hi again, and welcome to the It's Not Rocket Science 5 Questions Over Coffee. I'm joined today by Jenny Bracelin. Jenny is a qualified, skilled and experienced money coach and business mentor. She's really passionate about transforming people's relationship to money and motivating them to make more, which sounds like a brilliant thing. She originally trained as a ballet dancer. But then at about 23, I understand you set up your first business, and by 30, you decided to retire, which doesn't look as if you've sort of retired because you're here with us today, Jenny. So that doesn't sound like a very good retirement, if nothing else, but it's brilliant to do that. So we're going to talk about how Jenny motivates and explains how to make more money in her very simple, positive and confidence building way. So Jenny, welcome to the Complete Approach. It's Not Rocket Science, 5 Questions Over Coffee.
Thank you very much. I've got my coffee. I'm all ready. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Brilliant. So as you're just having that sit, let me start with the first of the questions. So what's the biggest challenge that your ideal client faces when you first meet with them?
I think it's that they don't know what's possible. So what happens is people try and solve problems from the same place they got into them. So if you're somebody that plans and are into your finances and very organized, what I find is you don't tend to dream big enough, and people come to me and I say, well, if you did that and that, you could double your income. And they're like, oh, I never thought of that. So it's kind of thinking bigger. But if they come and they're really into dreaming about big goals and perhaps the law of attraction, then I'm like, perhaps we should look at your finances and have a little go through those in more intimate detail. And they're like, oh, and then we look at it and I say, well, if you did this, this and this, you could double your income. And they go, oh, I never thought of that. So it's about kind of people don't realize what's possible, I think, is the short answer.
And do you find that's the sort of common mistake that they make when trying to solve that problem without any sort of help? Is they're just not thinking right?
It's they're thinking perfectly well, and often their thinking is what got them to where they were. But well, you know, in business, in order to get to the next level, often you have to think differently. Yeah. And that's really, I think, why people come and see people like us at certain stages, either to start off right or to go to the next level, or because it's not working, or because they're working too hard, not making enough money. And you know, there's practical techniques, isn't there, to kind of stage as a business. As a business mentor, I can help them with that. And then there's the kind of feelings and attitudes and beliefs about money, where it's like, I don't deserve it, or I'll have to work harder to get that, and I can't work any harder than I'm already working. And it's about transforming that. And so that's really my kind of specialism, where practical techniques meet money confidence. You know, that's what I love to do.
And I think that's a really valuable thing to sort of, you know, just sort of explore for a few seconds, because it is that mindset, isn't it? So many people don't believe somehow they deserve the success that they could have if they applied for it in a particular way. I absolutely identify with you on that, because I know a number of my clients, they sort of turn around and they sort of do say something like, well, you know, I can't see how that would work for me. And it's not about it wouldn't work, but it's about their own belief that they could actually step into a situation and make that change. And that's something that so many business owners it holds them back. And that's something that, you know, we all hope that they can overcome.
We do, because we want a thriving small business community. You know, that's what I want. I want all the people. I tend to work with people who are very passionate about what they do, and it's about making a difference. And they, you know, we want those people earning money. You know, I do a lot of artists and therapists and coaches, consultants who kind of go into councils and make a difference. And we want those sort of people doing really, really well, as opposed to somebody selling plastic products, for example, you know, would be my view. And so.
Agreed. Yeah, brilliant. So tell me, I mean, what's the sort of valuable free action or valuable free resource that you could sort of point people towards that sort of really would help them get a grasp of a better money mindset?
Well, I've ummed and ahed long and hard about what to talk about, because it's quite exciting for me at the moment as a money coach, because what's happening out there in the world is exactly this, you know, the same way to manage your money. So, for example, with the situation as it is, what's happened? People are reassessing. So my tool is a 3-step process. That's my free tool. So it's a 3-step process. So firstly, people are reassessing what they want in their life. And when they think about money, lots of people just think, I need more. I want to make millions. But actually, most people want enough money to have the life they want. And they've probably never worked out what that figure is, and they probably never thought about it that way. So the first thing is, what do you actually want? You know, yesterday I had a client who was like, I need to grow my business. I've just really slackened off during the last few months. And I said to her, I just got that, I kind of know, I've done a lot. I've done this for 25 years. And I said to her, if you start working tomorrow, how long would your money last? Like, how old would you be? And she said, a bit of calculation. And she went, I'd be 150. And I was like, so you're not exactly desperate for the money, are you? And I said, what would you love to do? And she's like, I want to write. And I said, well, just do it. You get one life, don't worry about money. So that's a very unusual one, telling people, look, don't worry about the money, just do what you love. So that's the first thing. The second step is to get intimate with your facts and figures. And again, this pandemic has highlighted this so starkly with the self-employed grant and all the business measures for support, because suddenly people have got their tax returns out that they've never looked at in their whole life and gone, I had no idea it was that bad. Why am I not getting some more support? Because I haven't paid enough tax. And so people are getting really kind of intimate with their figures, how much they've earned, and kind of getting out, they know what their personal survival budget is, which most people, to be honest, I would say half my clients have no idea. And although I don't get really detailed with finances, I try and keep it joyful and fun. Actually, that kind of, I kind of talk about the first of the month, money day. On the first of the month, do your books, look at your finances, look at your financial paperwork, do it all on the first of the month. Then from the 2nd to the 31st, no worries. So that's my second step. And then my third step, again, it's very topical at the moment, which is to be positive with money. So often the conversation is, it's terrible and it's awful and the tax system here is terrible and the business rules here are terrible and it's really hard to make any money. And you get this whole negative thing. And, if you go to the financial press to learn about money, that tends to be warning and lots of negative news. But actually, there's always opportunities. And what we found is to keep ourselves sane during this time, we need to find the positive. And I've been doing brainstorming sessions with people to come up with COVID-friendly businesses. It's only one I've not managed to do, but we found something else for her to do. So at least you can earn a living and, tide her over. But it's keeping that positivity. Like this person, she's a massage therapist. And she said to me, everyone's just closing their business, Jenny. All my kind of Facebook forums are about how that, we can't earn a living because we haven't worked for weeks and weeks and weeks this year. And I said, listen, you earn $3,000 a month as a massage therapist. Do not be giving that up. Have a break, have a rest, work with somebody else. We'll come up with a project, which we've come up with a more online friendly business for her in case this goes on indefinitely. But it's that, sort of within about an hour of talking to people who are quite negative, she was suddenly thinking about giving up a hugely successful business, And I think that's the thing. And what I've noticed, it doesn't matter what your industry is. Some people are being successful and some people aren't. And it is down to your attitude, because when you're positive, you're relaxed, you spot opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise see. So that's my 3 steps, which works in life and it also works with money.
Jenny, that is fantastic. I don't know about anybody else, but I've just learned a huge amount. I love the step 2. For me, it is the first of the month, but it's so true. First of the month, get out your facts, get out your figures, have a look, notice what's happening. I suspect you do the same. I'm a massive one for taking my clients and saying to them, and I talk to them about doing a weekly series of indicators, which actually sort of, how many customers have they got this week? How many customers have they got are active? How big is their email list? All that sort of thing. You just go through that each week and you look at it and go, oh, I'd like that to be bigger. Well, that sets your plan, doesn't it? That helps you to think, this month, I'm going to focus on making that bit better because, I'd like that one to be better. So just knowing that, and I think a lot of us, I know this is sort of thing that you're probably going to turn around and go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. A lot of us look at that and go, well, I'm afraid of looking because I don't know what I'll do about it.
Yeah.
But, not looking doesn't mean it's not there. It's still there. You might as well look at it. It's a bit like that sort of. I don't want to go to the dentist. He might tell me that I've got a bad tooth, but it's not going to solve your tooth. The tooth problem will still be there. Might as well go and address it. So yeah, absolutely. First of the month, get your facts and figures, have a look at them, check what's going on, and then you can at least make a plan to address that if you can do nothing else. I love that tip. I love it. Well, I should be taking that one away from this one and telling everybody I know that that's the new first of the month. Get your books out. Have a look at what the money is coming in. even if the COVID means that it's worse this month, at least now you can address it by saying, well, I know how much less I've got this month and I can do something about it.
Yeah.
Right, Jenny, that is absolutely fantastic stuff. Thank you so much for that. And I know you've got more on the LinkedIn site, so I'm just going to point to the bottom of the screen and say this is where Jenny, well, I was going to say she lives, but online, that's a place you can see lots more about this. You can get more from this. So let me just come to our sort of fourth question. What's the one sort of program or course that you found that's really sort of set you on this path, which sort of gave you the idea behind sort of getting your money mindset right?
Because as you said, I was a ballet dancer, and then I started a business hiring out tablecloths when I was 22, and I knew nothing about business, so it was like a really steep learning curve. I was reading books, and I would talk to the accountants, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" It just didn't make sense to my like creative brain. And then I did a course. It's called by Landmark Education, and it's a 3-day and an evening intensive personal development course. And I did it because I used to be late quite a lot. I thought that would fix it. But actually it cleared out my head, all that negative internal chatter. And it just kind of cleared it out. And I was like, oh, this is good. And sort of I was very new in business and I was earning £80 a week. It was a struggle. And I did the course and I went back to work on the Monday and I was like, okay, I want to earn lots of money in business. That's the reason to do it. And I got out my figures and played with them for about 3 hours. And I managed to increase my income from £80 a week to 400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought, this is good stuff. And what I noticed is, because I did go to university and do some business training, because I knew so little about business, is that my business increased by 3% doing a year-long university course. By doing an intensive weekend personal development course, increased, exponentially. And so, although you do need the practical techniques, you can't just run off the law of attraction. Combining the two just makes life much easier and more effective. So that's what really set me off on this course.
I love that, Jenny, and I'll tell you the reason I love it. It's one of the things that I do bang on about. So if anybody's heard this before, I try and set aside 30 minutes a day. I mean, I've got university degrees, etc., but I still set aside 30 minutes a day to try and read something. And I love reading and doing that personal development because it does two things. One of which it opens your eyes to things that you didn't know were going to happen anyway, and you don't know, what you're going to discover when you sort of start delving into a book. But if you pick up a book, and at the moment I'm going through From Good to Great, and I was going to pick it up and show it, just to show it really is next to me on my desk, but it's behind me, and if I turn around now, I'll wreck my neck. But I'm going through and I read that, and you can in a few days, and you just sort of said a year's course, but I mean, in a very few days of reading, you can pick up 20 years of somebody else's experience, which is a fantastic way of getting something for you to push your personal development. And I applaud the fact that you, as a ballet dancer, went and took yourself off to a university course, which I think is brilliant. So any ballet dancers out there listening, it is possible at weekends to more than double, quadruple your current salary, which, let's face it, isn't going to be great during this pandemic. But that's brilliant. So Jenny, I'm going to bring us to an end. Once again, Jenny's here in LinkedIn. Go find out more about her. What is the one question that I should have asked that you'd like to give great value to the audience, which I've now forgotten to ask you?
I think two things. One is to follow on your book thing, which is I always get asked, what's the best money book? And I would say the one you read in action. They're all good. So anyone that you read and take some actions from is the best money book for you. And the last thing is I'm a real passionate fan of getting paid in business. And I've got some free videos on my website, I Explain Money /free resources, or to go to I Explain Money. And I've just got sort of little 1-minute videos on how to get paid, because I get paid completely in advance now, and have done for many years, having learned through hiring out tablecloths that you need to get paid, otherwise you work for a lot of nothing. So if anyone's not getting paid or struggling to get paid, do go check those out.
That is a fantastic resource, and I encourage you. Once again, that website referenced at LinkedIn. If people have made a note of LinkedIn, they'll find you at LinkedIn. They can go to that website and they can get that free resource. That's brilliant, Jenny. Thank you so much. been a really, really entertaining few minutes. People, if you're watching this and you want to see more, go to The Complete Approach, and you can see there it links to this interview series, and you can subscribe to get more so that you know exactly when we're doing it. We also have this is put out as a podcast, and so if you want to join the mailing list in order to get that, go to this this website here. That's tca.fyi/subscribe. Then you can join the mailing list, and as soon as we release these as video or audio podcasts, you'll be notified about it, and you'll be hearing Jenny on that in a very short space of time. Jenny, thank you ever so much for these few minutes. I really appreciate the time you put in. I love the passion you've got about this, and I hope people go and check out what you've got to offer in terms of those free resources. So thank you very much indeed.
Brilliant. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you.